This is going to be interesting.
Yes.
Delete.
It's online.
Okay, yours might be blocking his.
Okay, yeah.
You got to move over just a teeny bit there. We're all going to go right in front of our. Well, starting our Facebook.
So where's mine on here?
So here we are in live feed at the mental health and community policing event. And we are currently having a discussion on the various impacts on both mental health as well as policing in urban and non-urban environments, and various issues related to legislation and the legal system as a whole. Oh.
Okay. So,
And we are also testing out how Facebook Live works, because this is the first time I've been live. And we're all doing
time as well.
Jerome's first time, and we're doing a little test run here.
So now we're going to put, we'll put one water here. Okay, so Dave, come over this way, so we got to all get a little close here, right? We're all going to get a little close here, so everyone can see each other. Maybe move yours over a little bit that way.
Might want to put some paper on this so it won't slide.
Here we go. Here, we put
There it goes.
some over here. We have a full forum. Actually, I know.
Oh my God. I've got about 10 people I can talk to.
Right, and see how powerful this is.
This is
Have
pretty
we have,
interesting.
have we have, and hold on right here. Let's try to get it so that. Okay, so we'll all get in, and I think what we should do is we'll all get in there. Let's move over a little. Here we go.
This is pretty
Look at this.
interesting.
We're all right here.
Hello, everybody. We're testing Facebook Live.
It is.
So the test here that we're doing, and thank you all, and I hope that you can share this with you. So I'm currently, all of us, we're right now in Washington, D.C., and the conversation is surrounding Black and Blue Lives Matter. So you heard all about the Black Lives Matter movement to talk about police brutality. There's also movements to talk about how the Blue Lives Matter, and how we also got to think about the other side of how the officers' lives matter, and how we can work together to have more inclusion between law enforcement and the community. Go back to the old times, right, where we did self-policing and everybody worked together, as opposed to look for the result of just incarcerating and putting people in prison, or resulting to physical altercations to be able to solve issues in the community. So we're going to all introduce ourselves. So
I guess I'm going to start first.
we got to start for you.
I'm Mike Puzon, a friend of David's who's got me here. I'm from Prince George's County, Maryland, and I'm currently running for the state senate of Maryland. And I tell you, I've been here 45 minutes, and I've learned a ton of stuff. I came to learn, and it's been some great information so far. And we just decided to go live, and that's about it.
So I'm Charlie Williamson. I'm from Mount Vernon, New York. I'm here to support Dave Schrank as well. I've been in, I worked in law enforcement for the Manhattan District Attorney's Office for several years. I also worked in corporate America. I run a technology company now between Mexico and the Dominican Republic. And I'm a professor in the universities around organizational behavior and development. So I'm coming to share some light on my personal experiences and having contact with police brutality, and also being on the side of law enforcement to be a solver of these issues.
Okay. How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Jerome Jones. I reside in Waldorf, Maryland. I'm from Suitland, Maryland. I I'm pretty much here, man, supporting my man Dave. You know, we're here to try to close the gap between, you know, the police and the people. You know, we're trying to hear both sides and find a common ground to where as though we all could come and make this world a better place for everybody. Your turn, Big Dave.
I'm Dave Schrank. I wanted to
This way a little bit
more this way. All right. I wanted to organize this from the perspective that I hear time and time again, you must pick sides. I come from two perspectives. One, having trained law enforcement in martial arts years back. I then went into mental health, where I saw the effects of law enforcement in the urban and black community, and how things have gone wrong in many ways, and the perspective of having to take sides, to me, leads to that much more in the way of killing and abuse on both sides. And so what I truly stand for is being able to bring increased awareness to both sides, being able to bring people together for the purpose of peace, for the purpose of loving one another, for the purpose of supporting one another, and being able to live in a much more harmonized and peaceful society.
We're not going to be on for long. The most important thing that we want to do is to recognize that social media needs to be used for the right reasons, right? So as we were sitting here talking about it, I said, you know what, this room would be even more packed if we just was all online, right? A lot of times when you see a lot of these issues around police brutality, somebody videotaping maybe a piece of the incident and not the whole. And so it's subject to a lot of interpretation. And if you're an individual who doesn't like to do your homework, you're going to just automatically make the assumption that maybe something was wrong on one side of the party, whether it's the police officer doing the wrong thing or another individual that's a pedestrian doing the wrong thing. I think what we have to do, though, right, is we have to find and use these communications for the right reasons, right? If you are somebody in the community, you need to think about, inclusion. We don't do enough inclusion. Instead of intimidating people to come into our neighborhoods, we should include them and integrate them into our communities, get them to understand who we are, eat our food, play at our basketball courts, join our YMCAs, be actively engaged, no matter what the color, no matter what the occupation. The best way to be able to help people understand you is to bring them closer to you so they can see not how you divide it, instead of how much you have in common. And the reason why this was a great forum to have all of us together is because on one hand, you have someone that can influence legislation. His goal and his vision is to turn around and help the regular individual. It's not about picking any sides in politics. He generally wants to see that, that the people, no matter what state, not just only his state, but any state, that needs help to do things like inclusion or to improve the educational system, which is another big issue why we don't have a good system of interacting, and for him to be able to be involved in making those things better. And I hope I'm not over talking you on this. But I don't know if you want to say some words about what you think the mission is and the vision around this.
Well, Chris and I have talked, David and I have talked, and we've talked already. I'm amazed that I keep seeing my phone pop here with people checking in. I'm glad you checked in. And all of you there know that I'm running for office because I think I'm a change agent, but I'm a change agent for everybody, not just one group. I think I said that already. And I know we have to make a change. And I came here to understand better both the Blue Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter side, and I put, man, you've been a heck of an education. And I think if we all look at education the way we should, it lifts people up instead of pushes them down. And, you know, that opportunity is there for all of us, but it hasn't been there for everyone. I get that. And I say that because of my own county. It's got problems. It's got, my own area has got problems with how we educate our kids. So that's one of my main visions for the future. So I didn't want to take away from it.
Well, to touch on as far as education, I was telling Dave about. Hello, young lady.
I don't know if the announcement is working, but he locked his
We're
rooms
on
up at 8:45.
Facebook Live right now.
He locked his rooms up at 8:45 minutes.
Oh, we got to run.
One last second.
One last thing.
See, we're getting kicked out of our space, but go ahead.
All right. Well, for me, I talked to Dave about one of my past experiences, and since we touching on the school part, I remember back in Forestville, our team won a championship, and we played a team. Let's say I think it was La Plata, and we went to their school, and the difference from my school in Forestville and La Plata was totally different.
Totally different.
Right? You know, Forestville, our gym, we had a small gym. I went out to Plata. The entrance to their school was almost as big as our auditorium. They had 2 gyms, they had swimming pools, they had a whole bunch of vocational programs for the kids, and that, by me going there and me seeing what these kids had to offer, and they were maybe 30 miles away from the school I went to. I was wondering where our pool was at. Where's our vocational things at? And I'm thinking, for me, I would love to see that all schools, you know, have the same everything. It should be a standard. It shouldn't be where you live at. It shouldn't be money, you know. You should find money for our kids. If what people say is true, our kids are the future, you know.
Yeah.
People say that a lot, but then all you hear is talk. You never really see action with that. So if you show me, man, that all the schools and everything is equal around the board from state to state, that'll be a plus for me. And like you said, it starts with education. It starts with the kids, and education is very important when it comes to that type of situation for me.
No, good job, good job.
Good job.
Good job. Hey, we gotta go.
We got to
Might as
go.
well
We
wrap
got
it
locked
up.
in here.
I will say this one last piece, right? Whether positive or negative, if you see something or know something, say something.
Right.
All right? Because until we start doing that, we're gonna not move forward and we're not gonna be progressive. So thank you, Facebook.
Thank you, guys.
You're proving us right. Share the message.
Take care.
Share the message.
Holy mackerel, how can you tell how many have looked at you?